Dear students, now we are moving to the classification of reptiles. In the previous class, we have seen the different systems of the type specimen, Calotes, versicolor, and now we are moving to the classification of this particular class, Reptilia. So let's move. Actually, the classification of Reptilia includes an earlier classification as well as a recent classification. Based upon certain features, scientists has made an earlier classification of reptiles into 4 different subclasses. But later it was found that this classification is not much logic. So they have changed this earlier classification into recent classification. So let's have a look for the earlier classification of reptilia. Based on the presence as well as absence of temporal foci, reptiles are generally classified into 4 subclasses in earlier classification. Temporal foci means this is one of the area which is generally found in the skull of reptiles. So whether it is present or absent, or the position of the temporal foci, based upon the position of the temporal foci, reptiles, the whole reptiles which is ever roamed in our earth has been divided into 4 subclasses. The first one is called Anapsida. Anapsida means, as the name indicates, does not have any kind of temporal foci. Here you can see that this is the skull of Anapsidans. Here there is no temporal foci are present. Okay, this is called Anapsidans. They includes 2 different kinds of examples, that is Cortillosauria and Chelonia. That is turtle, tortoises, and Cortillosauria is one of the extinct reptiles. These kinds of reptiles are generally coming under this Anapsida. Then comes the Synapsida. Here, just unlike to the Anapsida, here temporal foci is present, but they are generally positioned on the lateral side. Here you can see that this is a lateral temporal foci. For example, Pelycosaurians. Pelycosaurian means these are mammal-like reptiles. Or it is believed that mammal-like reptiles means these kinds of reptiles is making an indication that they have been originated or they have been changed into mammal-like organisms. Then comes Parapsida. Parapsida means here the temporal foci are generally found just superior to the lateral region, that is supratemporal foci are present. Here you can see that if you are considering these 2 skulls, you can see that this temporal foci are generally found in this lateral side, while supratemporal foci is generally found just above this lateral region. So this kinds, if this temporal foci are generally found in the supra region or just above this lateral temporal foci, it is called a supratemporal foci, and those organisms which is possessing this supratemporal foci are considered as parapsidans. Okay. Then the last one is called diapsidans. Diapsida, as the name indicates, here you can see that 2 different kinds of temporal foci are seen on the skull, that is supratemporal foci as well as lateral temporal foci, infratemporal foci are present here in this kinds of organism. Supra means above and infra means just below. In between, in this supra as well as in infra position, the temporal foci are present. It is called diapsidans, and they generally includes those organisms, that is Rhynchocephalia. You may be knowing that the Tuatara lizard, that is sphinodons, dinosaurs, Gyrosaurus, crocodiles, then lizards, snakes, etc. All these groups are generally coming under this particular subclass. So this is an earlier classification, but as this seems to be very, it's not logical, scientists have just changed this classification into another advanced one. That is called a recent classification. The recent classification, here the class Reptilia is getting divided into 6 major classes. Subclasses, that is subclass Anapsida, subclass Ichthyopterygiae, subclass Synoptosauria, subclass Lepidosauria, subclass Sarcosauria, that is including the rolling reptiles, and the subclass Synapsida, that includes mammal-like reptiles. Then let's move to the detail of each subclass. The first one is called a subclass Anapsida. They generally include extinct as well as living reptiles. Here, as we have discussed, they do not have any temporal foci on skull. Here the temporal region is completely marked by a complete bony roof. Okay, and two different orders are generally coming under this particular subclass. They are called the cotylosaurians. They are called stem reptiles. This is called cotylosaurs. It is believed that as this is called stem reptiles, it is believed that most of the advanced reptiles have originated from this cotylosaurians. Then includes chelonians. Chelonians generally includes turtles, tortoises, and terrapins. So this is the two suborders. These are the two suborders of this class, subclass and Apsida. Then subclass Ichthyopterygiae. These are wholly extinct aquatic reptiles. All the organisms are generally found, all these reptiles are generally found in this aquatic habitat. Here, about the skull, only supratemporal fossae are present. In this class also there are two different suborders orders are present. They are called mesosaurians. They are called aquatic forms, and ichthyosaurians. Ichthyosaurians are marine forms or seawater forms. Then subclass Synaptosauria. Synaptosauria includes extinct aquatic as well as terrestrial reptiles. Here also the skull is consisting of a supratemporal fossae. Here you can see two different orders are present. They are called protosaurians. These are terrestrial forms, and Sauropterygia. They are generally aquatic forms. Then the subclass Lepidosaurians. Lepidosaurians includes most of the extinct as well as living forms. Here, when we are looking through the skull, we can see both. They are actually diapsidans consisting of both the supra as well as infratemporal fossae. Here you can see three different orders are present. They include Eusuchia, that is the extinct forms, Ringocephalia, that includes the Tuatara lizard sphinodon, and which is considered to be a living fossil, and a Squamata, this is a living forms, which includes lizard as well as snakes. Okay, so this is a subclass Lepidosauria. Then subclass Archosauria. They are commonly known as ruling reptiles. They are extinct diapsidans with the infra as well as supratemporal fossae on their skulls. 5 different orders are generally found in this particular subclass. Thecodontia, Crocodilia. Thecodontia are generally carnivorous forms. And then Crocodilia we know that they include crocodiles. Then Pterosauria, they include toothed and tailed and flying reptiles. This is called Pterosauria. Then includes dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are generally classified in two different orders. They are Sauristia and Ornithischia. This is Sauristia and this is Ornithischia. So that's all about the 5 different orders of subclass Archosauria. Then subclass Synapsida. These are considered to be the mammal-like reptiles. As per the evolutionary point of view, it is believed that mammals have been originated from this particular subclass, that is Synapsida. Here only lateral temporal fossae are present on the skull, and 3 different orders are generally found in this particular subclass. They are called Pelicosauria, Therapsida, that is mammal-like, and Ichthyosauria. This is Pelicosauria and this is Therapsida, that is true mammal-like reptiles, and Ichthyosauria means I just mentioned just in front of this slide, that is marine forms. So that's all about the classification of reptiles. I hope you understood. Thank you.